Hello and welcome to Day and Night Let's Plays. I'm Phazon.
I'm K-Bass.
And I'm Monkey Ninja. And we are tackling Castlevania 1.
And welcome to the playthrough of Castlevania 1. My life. You didn't play it.
Castlevania. Vania, full of castle. Anyways. It's one of the first games out on the Nintendo system, and one of the flagship franchises. That doesn't get nearly enough love today. But yeah. Pretty famous game.
Well, of course.
You know, I actually didn't play this game when it first came out. I played it a lot later. And I just found out just how hard the game was. But now the difficulty is a little more bearable. I usually don't have a problem until I get a lot further on.
Oh, tell me.
Yeah.
Greg, tell me, how many parts is this?
2. Yeah, actually I beat this pretty fast. I was a little shocked because I didn't die or have as many problems as I thought I would.
Yeah, this game has a lot of memory. Well, okay. It's a pretty good little platformer for a first stage, and the first stage itself is not that unbearable. But the difficulty comes a lot from Simon's controls. A lot of people complain about how stiff they are, but they're kind of they could be argued as, you know, intentional. And if you want to see like a good overview about this game's gameplay, you know, I recommend looking at Ego Raptor Sequelitis videos. But yeah, it's what makes this so difficult is his delay when he hits with his whip.
If I had to give a reason for the difficulty, I wouldn't give it to the controls. I'd give it to the knockback.
That's another aspect.
Just purely the knockback.
And so, yeah, this is a series that's definitely gone through a lot of changes in recent history. Oh, and that's a weapon you use where you can go ahead and slow down or, you know, freeze certain bosses. It doesn't work against every boss.
It's one of the main things in other control that annoys me is when you're near stairs, if you try to crouch or use a sub-weapon, it makes you go up the stairs. So that gets kind of annoying. You have to either move away from the stairs or just attack normally.
Yeah. The one thing I'm really digging right now is the music.
Yeah, a really good thing about this music, or the soundtrack in my opinion, is the fact that it was composed by this composer named Kinuyo Yamashita. I'm sorry if I completely butchered that, but anyways, she's a composer that has not worked on many games, but she actually worked on the Mega Man X3 soundtrack and the Mega Man The Wily Wars soundtrack. So she's actually one of my favorite composers in the video game industry, just because I love the Mega Man X3 soundtrack so much.
Oh wow!
But yeah, she came up with the iconic Vampire Killer song, which you heard in the last stage, and Wicked Child, which you're going to hear in the next stage.
Oh yeah.
Severely underrated composer.
These enemies, my God! Ah!
You know, it's actually kind of weird because in this game, they're not extremely unbearable. But later and later games, Medusa heads just end up being the worst enemy ever created.
Oh wow, you looked out.
Saved by the platform.
And so yeah, this is an instance of, this is basically demonstrating that knockback is definitely one of your worst in this game.
And after getting lucky twice, I don't even know why I did that.
I think you just said, oh fuck this.
You know, it's just the balance, you know, the fact that you got lucky those 2 times. Make up where you said, okay, well I got a little bit too lucky. I don't want to throw off the whole karma thing. So I'm gonna go ahead and die here where it's bearable.
And then you get hit by Medusa and get saved again. I can't kill myself!
Well, yeah. Any enemy that you touch knocks you back. So, common complaint. So, another thing...
It's not just they knock you back. It's like you got shot by a gun and you fall back. Massive.
Yeah, and you're going to depend a lot on the sub-weapons in this game. You're going to have to learn to. Because there's a slight delay between actually hitting a button and your whip coming out.
Yeah.
So yeah,
just to be demonstrated.
A helpful hint for this game would be to memorize what candles drop what weapons, because you'll definitely need to learn to get used to those weapons.
Especially when you end up getting game overs, which you will get, and then you have to you'll know where they spawn. That's for sure. I think it's
You'll
level
memorize
4.
where they spawn.
Say what?
You'll memorize where they spawn.
Exactly. It's level 5. That.
We'll get to there in a little bit.
That's right.
Anyways.
These guys too. Especially just later on. It just gets terrible.
Well, one of the defining features that makes this game so difficult also is the fact that in later levels, enemies do more damage than it did in previous levels. So when you get towards the last half of the game, or like towards the last levels in this game, any enemy that touches you does about a third of your life, including Medusa heads.
Green.
It's a fourth. Once you get to the end of stage 3, I think, all enemies end up doing 4 bars of health. You have 16.
And this is another reason why having this watch would be so useful against this enemy. You can freeze her and make her a lot more easier.
But like after this, then the bosses start becoming immune to stop. Or is it after the next boss?
I don't think I've ever tried to use the stopwatch on the next boss, so I don't know if it works on it or not.
At that point, I mean, the next one's Frankenstein's monster,
No.
right?
The next one's the 2 mummies.
Oh, okay.
And another
Holy
iconic
water.
game, Wicked Child.
Pretty much the best sub-weapon in the game. It breaks it pretty well.
Well, one of the best sub
It's
weapons
pretty
in the whole
much
series.
do it if you don't want to end up raising it this game. You want a holy water.
And chicken.
Yeah, the reason why Holy Water is so good is because not only because of its trajectory, but because of the amount of hearts it takes to use the weapon, and the fact that it stays in place. So it can damage an enemy multiple times.
The residue just rapes.
Yeah, and as you can see, Simon's making his way up to the top of the castle, but it's actually kind of cool. You can see like the path that he's going to take before you actually go into the level itself.
I do like that.
The outside of the level actually reflects that. It's a nice little touch.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I see that, and I really think of Mega Man. Though I'm sure did this come out first, or did Mega Man come out first?
This came out in 1987. Well, at least in the United States, I think so. But, it's probably within a year or two within Mega Man.
Yeah. I mean, when it came to Mega Man, actually no, Mega Man 2 would introduce the whole thing that it showed like a map. It showed like a road map of like, okay, you're gonna be going this way. This is the direction you're going.
I don't remember that in Mega Man 2.
Was it 2 or when did they introduce the map thing?
I don't remember a map in Mega Man.
Yeah, I
mean,
don't
like,
think there's a map.
No, I mean when it comes to the Wily stages.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
No, that's since Mega Man 1, I think. Well, anyways, that's a cool little feature that definitely makes a return in Castlevania 3. And we're not going to mention Castlevania 2.
We're pretending that didn't happen until it happened.
Castlevania 2 didn't happen. Let's just say that.
Well, maybe.
Yeah. I think
I would be worried with only 1 hit of health, but with holy water, it's really not that big a problem. I should be okay, especially now that I have double shot holy water. I don't think I have to worry about anything really.
Yeah, those numbers basically allow you to use multiple sub-weapons. So you can drop 2 holy waters as opposed to 1.
Yeah.
Very, very... Oh, wow.
And I jump into the enemy.
At least there's a whip pickup right there.
Yeah. Don't be fooled, people. This game's a lot more difficult than it seems, but after you practice it enough, you learn to get used to it.
Yeah. And don't expect you to lose only 1 or 2 lives. Oh no. At this point, remembering when I played this a couple of months ago, I had at least, in this stage alone, like a good, probably 2 game overs. Maybe.
I don't know, like I said, this was probably the best run of Castlevania 1 I've ever had.
Well, anyways, I can sort of see why the developers did it. You gotta remember the time and age that this game came out in. This was around the start of video games, and this was when you had very limited capabilities with your hardware design. So they didn't have that much space, so games had to be... You couldn't make a game that long. This game itself was only like about 7 stages. So to counteract this fact, developers made these games really, really, really difficult.
Oh my, yes. And
Wow.
it's the mummy.
You did really good against the mummies.
Yeah, I actually found out that if you go for the right one, and then just let yourself get put in the corner, you can end up out damaging it or killing it off before it kills you. So that's just the way I take it.
Well, you mean you can hit them at the same time while you're just looking at them in one direction, as opposed to worrying about them at your front and your flank.
So anyways, in case you guys haven't noticed yet, this game takes a lot of its enemies design from classic monsters. So as you saw, we fought the mummy right there. We'll fight Frankenstein later, and Dracula itself is the main baddie. And swamp creatures.
Of course. They're going to comment on the fact
concept.
They're going to comment on the fact that apparently the Belmonts have the ability to not get affected by extremely long falls.
Oh yeah, other tidbit, this game's protagonist is actually Simon de Belmont, and basically the way the story is it's pretty simple. Basically, Dracula comes around and terrorizes Transylvania, and the Belmont family is in charge of basically killing him. So yeah, they use their iconic vampire killer whip, and they gotta hunt down Dracula and kill him, because apparently they're only people who can actually use a vampire killer.
We'll find out why in a minute.
One very strange thing about the Belmonts is that they all suffer from water, and then they touch water, they're dead.
Even water that's not water.
Yeah,
but
one,
think, after a little bit, after Dracula getting beaten by the Belmont someone, you think he just make his entire castle on a floating island, or like just surrounded by water.
Well, I remember reading this comic when it was like I'm a resurrect Dracula, and he comes out and it's like, ooh, I'm Dracula. Oh no, I've been defeated. They just go back to the coffin. That's it.
oh, that reminds me. Later on in the games, you'll see some of the ways that the Belmonts defeat Dracula, and it's pretty, it's pretty sad. Let's just say Dracula didn't plan out the rooms that he's going to stay in very, very well. Like, he may have forgotten to exclude a certain window here and there.
I know exactly what you're talking about. Maybe.
So yeah, pot roast.
Love that pot roast.
It's random and strange that both you can break walls and find pot roast in them, and you also decide to keep them when they've been in there.
Who knows how
long?
Hey, sticks get hungry too.
That's a pretty good pot roast.
So this is an example of one of those bosses that you definitely want to have the holy water in. Because as you can see, the little flea man, or Igor, he's supposed to be named, jumps around while Frankenstein goes back and forth, or the creature.
Well,
so if you use the holy water, you actually lock him in place, and you delay how long it's going to take to come out and come towards you.
Just something to say really quick is that I actually hit him when I hit him with the whip, I ended up doing a lot more damage than I should have. I guess I found out that this game has critical strikes that you can do. We'll see it again later, and I'll point it out. But it kind of caught me off guard because I didn't expect it to happen.
Well, anyways, guys, thanks for watching. See you next time.